Hello, welcome to the Roland's Reviews reaction channel. All right, so we all know what's going on so far as the Dallas Cowboys are concerned. Uh, Last night we found out that Jaylon Smith um, was released. It was reported by Adam Schefter. The Dallas Cowboys are moving on from Jaylon Smith, who Jerry Jones said last season that he was a cornerstone of the defense. So this is shocking at this point in the season. And he was also the Dallas Cowboys Man of the Year. He does a lot of things off the field. So this is breaking news, folks. Well, it was last night anyway. He's created business opportunities for plenty of people. He's an all-around good person. It's just his play on the field was a little lackluster. He gives a lot back to the community there in Dallas. And he was a second round pick, and most teams thought he'd never play again. Of course, we know he was able to come back. 2018, he played a Pro Bowl season, and he had a lot of tackles. But we know recently Jaylon Smith has had some hard times. Okay, his severe injury, the drop foot, he had to wear a special brace at least 1 year, I think, that he was playing. That was a hinge spring that would sort of kind of pull his foot back. And for the most part, he's been playing on one leg, is what a lot of people have said. So, but of course, we don't need to feel bad for Jaylon. He lived his dream of being a Dallas Cowboy. He was paid very well when he was a Dallas Cowboy. So we don't need to cry tears for him. The Dallas Cowboy defense is changing. We love Dan Quinn, and he's made some significant changes. There's a whole turnaround. And, I'm ready for another championship, folks. So this is a good move, I think, for the team. And we're fast and furious, is what Dan Quinn says. We're fast, 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 and we are. Everyone's running to their assignments. We're trying to build a championship defense. So I am happy. So Cowboy Nation, a lot of people are cheering, and they're saying that we should not have waited this long. So they decided to move on from him, and if they had decided before March 26th last year, they could have saved about $9.2 million. But because they didn't, his contract was fully guaranteed. So a lot of people are asking why the cut now. And from everything I've heard, it's because if he, received a catastrophic injury, that the Cowboys would be on the hook for next year for about $9.2 million. So that would have been, an injury settlement. So that would have been rough for us. I think we're roughly 10 million over the cap next year, something like that. So, hey, it is what it is, and I'm sure maybe he has played decently this season, better than last year. We know Keanu Neal's coming back, Jabril Cox, all the rookies are really doing a good job. We have a lot of people coming back. So this was a good move. We're preparing for next year. Okay, you don't want to risk spending $9.2 million for Jaylon Smith when you have, you know, Keanu Neal, Joseph Hooker, Carlos Watkins, KZ. We have a lot of excellent people that Dan Quinn has brought in. So I think that we're good, and obviously they're getting the vote of confidence, and we have a surplus of linebackers, and we're sort of better off making this move now rather than later. Some people say that the front office is stupid. Why didn't they trade him? Well, from the reports I've read, they did try to trade him for a third or fourth round draft pick, and there was no team that would take the bait. But they did try. They even tried before the draft, and it just didn't work out. No one wanted to take on that contract. Um, so they look at it and say it's just too much money to take that much of a risk with that injury settlement that was worked into the contract that Jerry Jones made with Jaylon Smith. So it sort of turned around to bite them in the butt. But hey, stuff happens, right? So we're going to make it. So better to do it now than to risk, again, the injury. So the bottom line, folks, this is a business. And I don't care how much they love players. At the end of the day, it's money. And so the organization also felt that Jalen Smith may have been a little vocal and divisive in the locker room. So I don't know what that's all about. I have to do a little more research. But they were saying, someone in the organization was saying that Jalen Smith was talking too much, and they were worried about him becoming a cancer in the locker room as his playing time was decreasing. So I don't know how true that is. That's what is being said. Jabril Cox, is he's getting better on the field, and as Canoe O'Neal comes back, I think we're good. So they didn't want any distractions. Things are really going well right now for the Cowboys. So we're going to see, you know, let's see if they move on from anyone else. The other part of the equation, in the past, Dallas has held on to players for too long, and there was no trade value, and they didn't receive anything in return. They let them go when the body parts are falling off. No one's going to give you anything for that particular player. So it's typical, particularly guys that are making a whole lot of money, which precludes you from, being able to bring in young guys. And, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, next year is going to be a problem trying to get all these guys signed. So one of the smartest things they did it was with the expiring contracts for so many of the players on the team. They received 1 year deals, sort of prove it deals. So I think that's a good thing. And the next 4 or 5 years, if you had a big contract, you would have no incentive to work hard. But you're like, oh, uh, I have my money, so I think this was excellent what they did in the off season. Um, as some people say, if your refrigerator's full, well, you're just not going to be hungry. Okay, and you're not going to work hard. So that's just where we are with that. And if you look at um, the people who don't have a contract for next year, they are really playing hard. And even if they don't make our team, if we lose them, we may receive a compensatory pick. So that's also a good thing. All right. That's how New England has been so successful. And, for so long. Okay. So I'm happy with the changes, and we just got to work on that salary cap. A lot of people also talking about Michael Gallup, and are we going to be able to retain him? So who knows? Michael Gallup last year, his deal. He's in the last year of his deal. Leighton Vander Esch is in the last year of his deal. So Connor Williams is in the last year of his deal. Keanu O'Neal, Malik Hooker, Dontre Kazee, Randy Gregory as well. All of these players. Jordan Lewis, excuse me. Uh, we have so many players, but Jordan Lewis, Brett Urban, Carlos Watkins, these guys, they're playing. I think Carlos Watkins is coming back, so we'll see how that goes. But look at the players. Pay close attention to the players that do not have a contract. Those are the ones who are really performing. Okay, so um, we have about 31 guys. Obviously we don't have 31 draft picks, so we have to get this money situation figured out. We found a good group of guys that are working well. So the guys they're on a dirt cheap deal. You can't ask for more. Okay, so we got to figure this out. Puts the other guys on notice that your best ability is your availability. Uh, you know, you look at Cedric Wilson, Noah Brown, they're pretty good. So we're winning without Michael Gallup, folks. Um, the defense, I'm very pleased with the defense. Look, we're winning without Demarcus Lawrence. And, he's a $27 million cap hit next year. So who's to say he'll be on the team next year? We just don't know. Um, so we have to stay tuned and see. We know in Dallas things happen rather quickly, but that's just where we are. And if you look at where you're spending your money, the final piece on this for the Cowboys organization, uh, the players have to get out and they have to perform. So I think Jerry's finally, taking his hands off. If you remember, Jaylon kept saying, look at the film or watch the tape. Well, obviously they did, and they didn't like what they saw. So uh, this is sending an excellent message. It doesn't matter who you are, you can be cut. But again, don't feel sorry for Jaylon. Uh, he received millions of dollars, and to me, it did not equate to his performance on the field. So he'll be just fine. I'm sure there may be a team that will pick him up. We Cowboy fans, we're ready for another championship. Cowboys seem like they're on a mission, and I'm just excited. I'm excited for what we're doing, and I am excited for where we're going. So we'll see how things turn out. I don't want to get overly excited, uh, but we have to do what we have to do. We've been from the we haven't been to the glory land and the Super Bowl in so long. We have to, definition of insanity is you keep doing the same thing expecting different results. So we're changing things up, and I am thoroughly excited. Okay, so just wanted to come on and talk about that. If I hear anything later, I'll try to come back on. So thank you again for watching Roland's Reviews.